Hey, everybody, and welcome to tonight's episode of Growing Shadows. Hopefully, everybody out there can hear me. Doing pretty good tonight. It's our usual every stream seance.
Seance, yeah. I think they can hear you. It looks like they can hear you.
Awesome. Great. Well, thank you all so much for coming out for tonight's episode. I'm very happy my players can hear me. So tonight, I definitely want to jump in, and I'll start off saying, if I have trouble with my words tonight, please give me a little bit of leeway. I had more dental work done today. I'm at a place finally that will let me get dental work done. So I'm doing something almost every month. But right now I feel like I'm drooling and my face is numb. So please excuse me for that. On top of that, though, we got a couple things I definitely want to point out. So first and foremost, I want to thank everybody who's been coming out and joining us in our chat. Definitely want to thank Will from Lore, Greg from Amora Games, and everyone else who has been showing up. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate your participation. Definitely want to tell everybody out there, if you are in our chat or if you watch us on YouTube, you need to go out and check out Lore. They are another group that is streaming. They've got a D&D game coming up pretty soon here that a certain person in this cast is going to be in. And I'm wondering if she's paying attention. Yeah.
I was paying attention. I made a face.
And on top of that, other things going on, though. This Saturday, we are having our world premiere of the game Gutterpunk, which is an RPG that I worked on. Yes. Is that correct, Roxy? I thought it was this Saturday.
It is a Saturday, but it sounded like your button got unclicked. I lost you for a minute, but you're
I am
here.
So sorry.
That could have just been me. Don't worry about it.
But so Saturday at 4:00, I will be joined with by several people. Ilo La Santa, who made Ninja Crusade and is the head of Third Eye Games. We'll also have John McGuire from the Vintage RPG podcast, which if you do not listen to it, you really should. It is an excellent podcast. We will also have Jessica Geyer from Wannabe Games, who designed several things, including a wonderful game called Moonpunk. And for my last player that will be joining us, our newest addition is going to be Wes Otis, who you may know from 12-Sided Stories. He's also been on a previous show for our channel.
He was on our Halloween show.
Yes. And little fact, if you have ever seen Titan's Grave, the actual play for that, he was the sound guy for Will Wheaton for that show. A lot of people didn't know that one. I didn't know that one until recently, and then I freaked out. So those are the big things going on. We really hope you'll make it back Saturday. And, of course, Thursday next week, we will have our next episode of our Call of Cthulhu actual play, as it is starting to wrap up in the Masks and Nyarlathotep. And I definitely want to do one last big shout out before we go to our opening credits, and that is we also have the artist for Gutterpunk in this stream. And so, yeah. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you so much for all the art and all the work that you did for the game. And I'm really looking forward to Saturday and people getting a good look at this. So thank you. And with that said, we are going to go ahead and kick off. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and kick off and go into our opening credits. We'll see y'all in just one moment.
Slowly to the deep cells, let's start growing. I'm fresh with the keys and now I'm glowing. And then it's the time in the hand, you can find the toys from the past. The brains ain't counting, I feel always trying to. Gonna see it through, throwing out things to the Photoshop, then Ketsu. Then
All right, and we are back. So one last note. Obviously, if you were looking at our layout tonight, we are missing one of our players. Sammy is out for the night, and so he will not be joining us here. Episode's going to be a little bit light, but it's also going to bring back one of my favorite mechanics. But before we get into that, we need to go ahead and take care of a few things. Obviously, I want to address last game I said that we were in the city of Kokyu-ryu. And I wrote it everywhere. It's on the notes for the YouTube. It's on the notes for all the ads. It's on everything else. We were supposed to be in Kakyo. And yeah, so that's my bad. As GM, that is my bad. I had us in the wrong city name-wise. So I'm sorry.
It happens.
We all make mistakes. That said, when last we left our intrepid
we're
yeah, Kakyo.
the city is Kyou or Kakyo? That's what I have in my notes.
Oh, okay. Well, I said at the beginning of that episode that we were in Kokyu-ryu in my monologue, as it were.
Then
just shows that we don't listen to you.
Exactly the right part.
There you go. So, when last we left our intrepid group of heroes, they had recently arrived in the city of Kakyo in an area known as the Flame River Province. It is just beyond the border of the mountains in the northeast quadrant of the Izo Empire. It is equally distant from the capital, and it is extremely rare that Imperial soldiers are seen here. So much so that, as our players found out, ninja in this city almost operate out in the public. And they ran into a member of the Laughing Bandits while they were here. And there was a chase scene. And there was a scuffle with the Salt Cartel as they came back into the picture for our team. But as the episode closed down, the refugee that was basically traveling with them, a former friend of our, I guess, kind of shonen protagonist Chet, made it known that she had feelings for one of our players, or at least for their character. And then
no, she's totally into me. She's totally into Roxanne. She is. Everyone is.
The meta is real.
The meta is
I ship
deep.
it. No, I don't. That's disgusting. Anyway,
Everyone
only disgusting because
Roxanne.
only bad because we're all playing teenager and kid characters, and we aren't going to go any further than innocent puppy love. I will say that. But she let it be known that she was crushing on Kyou. And also at the same time, well, if you didn't see the episode, the big reveal that Kyou is actually a she. And that's where we leave off we enter into this episode where we left off last episode. So with that said, it is that evening after that moment in that hotel on the border, essentially. Most of Kakyo is out on the bay. It's ramshackle boats of every type and variety shoved together, hundreds of them, forming this kind of floating city in a literal sense. But there are a few buildings that are right on the land, probably the original buildings, the original settlement itself. And that is the hotel that our players find themselves in. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this evening started. So let's go ahead and find out where everybody is. I'm going to go in kind of a reverse order to some extent. So where is Guy this evening? What is Guy doing in the inn for the evening?
Let's see. Most likely resting up after having been assaulted tonight, so...
Assaulted?
I was assaulted.
He was assaulted, for sure, by the Salt Cartel.
They were very salty.
Peppered by their attacks.
Alright, everybody get the puns out. We're clearly not done from last time.
No.
All right. So
They're just gonna keep coming.
Resting, relaxing up. Are you up in your room, or is there someplace else you're gonna be?
I imagine that if I had a room, I'm gonna be in it and dead asleep and just resting up because today's been a day.
Okay. That said, what about Chet?
I'm staring out the window, basking in the warm glow of my revenge. I'm assuming the building's still on fire.
Probably, I should mention that, yes. Like some sort of 1940s cowled superhero, they fought the Salt Cartel and then destroyed the cartel's base of operations. But
I had completely forgotten that we'd set it on fire.
Yeah, because you kept telling me not to.
Now, the struts did finally burn,
but I did it anyway.
And the entire thing kind of sank into the bay. So there's only the top of it still on fire, and the rest of it's kind of sinking down. But so you're just hanging out the window, watching out it.
Yeah.
All right.
This isn't like this isn't going to become like a thing. It's not. It's like, I swear, it's not like a thing. I didn't do this because I felt compelled, like I had to. They hurt my friend. It's good. It's not a thing. You don't have to worry.
We could. I would be okay if we set more places on fire. To be frank, I think it would be okay.
I set somewhere else on fire in a game last night, so I just think it's a trend. I think I've. I think I, as a player, am down for more burning of things.
There we go. So Keanu Reeves in every movie saves the world, and then Roxy in every game burns something down.
I'm just saying, like, Chet would have been like saying to all of you guys on the way back that it's like, yeah, it's like, sure, yes, I did have all of these things on me, and I didn't tell you guys I was going to do this, but like it's not like this isn't a thing I do.
I mean, like, when it comes to the power of friendship, and when you hurt our little buddies' fifis, we're gonna burn down your establishment. Or Chet is gonna burn down your establishment.
I'm all for burning down the establishment. It's all good,
I mean, yeah, we're gonna play gutter punk on Saturday, so be ready to start a revolution. Down with the man.
Oh man, everything's
I don't know. I was a square. I was a church kid. I didn't know anything about this punk stuff.
Random thing. So one of my favorite bands just released a new song, and it's all about tearing down the establishment. And so I've been in love with it ever since it came out. So I'll have to share it with you guys later.
Nice,
please do. And what's the band?
One OK Rock. It's a Japanese rock band.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. I will have to look
dig it.
I will share it with you guys in chat later.
All right.
Thank you.
Please do.
I'm needing new tunes.
So, let's go ahead and ask Ranto. Where would you be? I mean, everyone else is in the hotel, either resting or obviously basking in the glow of destruction. What are you doing? Ranto.
I think, okay, so Kyou made us all get our own different rooms.
Yes.
I think Ranto is like kind of tired of being inside like wooden indoor spaces. She's been stuck on a boat, and now she's stuck on a boat that's not going anywhere. So she's just probably going to step out before going to bed with Camu and just kind of take her look around. She's probably not going to wander too far, just maybe around the hotel and just see what's what. She's probably never really been to a crazy place like this anyway, so just a little bit of exploring.
All right. And that said, I will go ahead and say that for Takumi, he is probably available in the background. He's going to be working on his painting. But that said, let's go ahead and say... Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, I kicked his butt last session.
True.
So, didn't he take like 3 points of damage?
Yes. Very true.
I'm so strong.
And he's
So,
using those emotions and he's putting them on canvas.
It's a picture
Has
of
to
him
express himself.
just dunking me.
This is the painting that is going to change the Empire's mind.
So, Kyou, we left off with you last game. What are you going to be doing?
So Kyou is having a bit of an internal crisis because no one has ever, as far as he's aware, no one has ever before seen through the ruse and known that he was a she. And so she is having a moment in her room and is very thankful that she insisted that they all get separate rooms and had the money to do so for precisely a moment like this. Usually she does prefer to have her own room just because it reduces questions, doesn't take as much time to, hide things or be discreet and all that. But Kyo feels a little bad for kicking Tomoe out of the room so quickly. But what time of night is it? Is it still kind of early or is it
I'm gonna
late?
say it's still pretty early. You know,
Okay.
y'all did your vengeance thing and got back to bed before 9.
Okay, cool.
Like good little boys and girls.
Yeah. So if she doesn't do it tonight, by the morning she will call like a little group meeting. Because if it was obvious enough for Tomoe to point out, or at least new people are starting to are notice, she's going to want to head off any other questions and explain to her friends what's going on and why this is a thing. Because as long as they have known Kyou has been a boy, and that has been on purpose from her parents. That was established when they first moved to Danketsu. And so
Well,
if it's, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, before we get there, and just because I want to make sure everybody's comfortable going into this,
Sure.
do you want to narrate this or do you want to actually have this conversation?
How does everybody else feel about that? Is that a conversation you want to have, or do you just want me to go over what I would tell you guys?
It's up to you guys. Me personally, I'm always for the role play aspect.
Okay. I mean, if you're cool with that. And but yeah, so just I'll go ahead and say that I go ahead and I go and I knock on Chet's door and I ask him if he can get everybody and meet me in my room.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool.
I'll
thank
go
you.
get whoever's room is closest first.
We'll go ahead and say
it's guy. Odds it's Ranto.
Let's go ahead and say oh, there we go. So Guy, he comes and grabs you.
I am half awake, and I have my pillow in my hand. What's happening?
Sleepy guy.
He has something important to tell us in his room. Come
okay.
On. Up. I pour a little bit of my drinking water on my hand and splash it in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I
probably get a similar
Ranto.
reception. And you probably get a similar reception from Takumi, honestly, although without the pillow, likely.
I open Takumi's door and then bask in the awe of the painting that he's creating and decide not to disturb him while he's creating his
He wouldn't want to talk to me anyway.
That will change the world.
No, I can't disturb
Like
them.
whatever Kyou has to say is probably important. This painting is much more important.
Dang, I wish I had a moment like that.
Well, all I can think of
One
is if you've ever seen what is the name of that movie? Oh, not another teen movie. And the girl's a painter, and Chris Evans comes in and sees the painting that she's painting. It's of her mother. She's got your eyes. Yeah. Anybody, or am I of such a generation that nobody here but me has seen it?
We are old.
I haven't
think I've seen the scene.
seen that movie in a very long time. I just remember Molly Ringwald was in it, and I liked that. And Banana. I remember
banana.
Banana.
That was my favorite scene too. Oh, I mean, you didn't say it was your favorite, but it was mine. No. But yeah, no, that's fine. If Takumi does that, we can relay to Takumi later. He's in the zone.
I walk into
Ranto
Kyo's
was outside.
With
You could probably just find me wandering around, I'm sure.
I walk into Kyo's room and with a very prominent single tear streak down my cheek.
Was the art that moving?
I've never seen anything so beautiful. I turn
Plastic
Making
bag.
a note
Like
that
really-
Takumi created his magnum opus.
I'm putting really, really high expectations on this painting. It better
Yeah.
be good.
We need it on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Don't lose it if you do draw it, Justine.
I haven't
you
started
lost-
yet.
After you lost my stealth wagon.
Goodbye, stuff.
Give me
Slap
time to
myself in the
lose the
face.
thing before you fuss at me.
But
I
yeah,
slap myself in the face to snap out of my reverie.
Thank you. I don't know what's going on with you, Chet, but this is kind of important. Just please have a seat. Thank you for gathering, everyone. All right, and Kyou, when you come into the room, when y'all get in there, I'm sure Ranto wanders in, sees the door open, comes in.
What the heck? I thought we were all getting separate rooms. You guys are all just having a boys' party in here?
Just come in and shut the door, please. Camo, can you please come over here so I can pet you? Camo is my support animal.
Camo will come. I believe I have to catch you guys in order to be included and stuff.
I'm wrapped in a kimono and, and just kind of sitting quietly on the bed. And I think it probably looks like I'm kind of shaken, but I'm trying my best to keep that Kyou charm on full display, which, you guys aren't usually charmed by it, but I try to charm other people with it.
So I was going to say...
Can I make an empathy check?
Sure.
Let's see. 3 pips of empathy and 1 pip of intuition, just to see if I can pick up your phony baloney.
Nice.
Don't anticipate this going well. No successes.
Did you get a 1?
Wow.
I got 1.
You did? She critically failed on her empathy check, I have to say.
Did I just get a headache?
Technically,
myself trying to see past.
Now, I will point this out for viewers and our team here. There are actually additional rules that you can begin to work in for skill checks in the book for Ninja Crusade, where it will give you ideas of what to do for critical failures or critical successes on skills, which I like. But I'm going to say this. You think Kyou's mad at you.
Oh,
that's my
mad here, and then you just kind of see Ranto cross her arms for a second, and she's like, "I don't know what the heck I did."
Kamu goes back to you because he senses there's a problem.
I need my emotional support ninja dog.
Yeah, there is a very confused Camus wandering back and forth, kind of looking at the two of you. For our viewers, Camus is this scruffy, runty, Malamute husky-esque looking dog, or at least is supposed to be. And as he grows, maybe he'll look a
We're
little
not
bit,
100% sure.
as he grows, maybe he'll end up looking a little bit more Malamute husky-like, but yeah.
Thank you all for coming over. I just had a really weird discussion with Tomoe. And I feel like I owe you guys an explanation in case it comes up. And I look at Chet and I'm like, don't worry, it's nothing like romantic. I mean, it's not. It's really not.
Okay. I didn't think it was.
Okay.
Now I do, though.
Okay, I'm messing this up. So, do you guys remember when my family moved to Danketsu when we were like, I don't know, like 7 or 8? Do you remember?
I guess so. I gotta be real with you. I didn't really know people until I started ninja training, and we all know I did that kind of late.
Okay, well, I mean,
I remember when your parents came to meet my parents. Yeah. That's the day we met.
Yeah, and it was super cool, and we've been friends ever since, and nothing could ever come between that friendship, right? I mean, we're all pretty tight. We're all.
Yeah, I mean, I trust you. I don't feel like anything can stop that.
Awesome. That's really what I wanted to hear. As you guys know, my mom and dad get sick a lot. They were, they got hit with the plague, like right after the start of the Ninja Crusade. They were in a village that got hit by the Emperor, and they've been struggling with that even after they after they got better. They never got back to 100%. And so I'm their only child, and the burden of the business kind of falls on me, and that doesn't bother me. I think I'm a pretty good salesperson. But they were really scared that I would not be taken seriously when I was younger, because I had to kind of start being the face of the business at a fairly young age. And it was cute when I was little, but as I got older, they worried that things would change. And so it works out because I'm really tall, and I've been really tall all my life, so I've always looked older. But I am only like 14, 13, or I think I'm the youngest out of the group, out of character. So whatever the ages are.
When you started
12.
You were 12.
Yeah, so I guess I'm 13. But I can pass for much older when I need to. But I've also been able to pass in other ways.
Passing.
Poor guy. Did we get him to a doctor? Is he okay?
Do we need to put him to bed?
This will only take a second, and maybe he'll just think it's a dream, and it'll be fine in the morning. But hopefully we don't
revenge.
have to.
It's the best medicine.
That's right.
Medicine.
Yeah, we did.
But my parents were really worried that, being the face of the business, that they would not trust, that people would not respect me because I was young. So I've always had to act older. But I've also had to act like a boy. And I am not a boy. And Tomoe figured that out. And I got really scared, and I was probably really mean to her. But I want you guys to know that I'm still me. I never changed who I was when I acted. Like,
Not
my personality is
boy.
still me. Huh?
Wait. Not.
So
I have.
Yeah, please go on.
Tomoe figure out? How did Tomoe figure that out?
I don't know, but I'm really worried that, I mean, puberty is a thing that's happening. So I've been really trying hard to hide a lot of stuff, because if my parents found out that people knew that I was a girl, then it could, like, the way that my dad talks, it could completely ruin the business. Like, I might not be able to have it if I'm a girl, and I'm the only one that can keep doing it, you know? But I just want you guys to know, because if it starts, I don't know how she figured it out. I don't know. I don't know. But it worries me, and I hope. I don't know if you guys just haven't noticed, because you just, that would be crazy, right? I mean, I've always been Kyou. Boy Kyou.
Guy has a question.
Oh, sure. Sure, I'm done. Questions can happen now.
How did I get into your room? And is this a dream?
Not a dream.
Not a dream.
You did walk.
Chet brought you in.
And who said they're not boy? What?
That would be me. I'm going to continue probably to act like a boy, especially when we're going into other places. What's his? Is it Sensei Abe? Is that what he would be called? Sensei Abe knows. My clan, some of them know, but most don't. Again, I think it's really stupid. I've met a lot of female shop owners, and they do really well, but I don't know, mom and dad are really worried, and I'm not entirely sure if there's something else going on or what, but I will keep up the ruse. But I couldn't lie to you guys anymore. And that sounds really crappy, because really the only reason I was afraid I couldn't lie to you anymore is because other people are figuring it out, and it scares me. So you deserve better than that, so I'm trying to be honest.
Kyou, as someone who is also an only, well, you're an only child, and I'm the only daughter in my family. I guess you're also the only daughter. I get the overprotective parent thing. I do.
Yeah.
My brain and my 0 pips of knowledge are still kind of trying to wrap around the surprise of it, but I don't know. I don't have any comments, but I mean, you're not hiding any like bad secrets, right? Like, you're not actually like,
I mean,
an evil octopus monster that's going to kill us. You're just cute.
I read a book about that once, but no, I'm just a girl. I mean, some of the way that some boys talk when girls don't know that when they don't know girls aren't there, or girls are there, you would think boys sometimes think we're octopus monsters. But it's just the way it is. But I just wanted you guys to know before it got really weird.
Okay. I'm still surprised because it's new information, but like, I mean, what is a girl? Is it a tomboy? Is it a me? Is it a you? Whatever. I'm just kind of ranting.
That's why
I'm a little ranting because I'm no, they named me Ranto because I'm a runt.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But yeah, I'm saying very poorly because I'm not good at the whole comforting thing that I don't think I care all that much as long as you're okay.
Thank you. That means a lot. And Kyou I look at Chet and I'm like, are we still best friends?
I'm sorry. This is that's I'm gonna have to process this.
That's fine. I figured that would be the case.
Feel like it doesn't change anything, but I also does.
Yeah. I get it.
Still cool. It's just not what I expected.
I'm sorry. For what it's worth.
I mean, get it? It's your parents. Parents have asked you to do things I don't understand. But
at least they haven't tried to marry me off. I mean, that would suck.
Yeah. Well, keeping the ruse up around other people, I'll still refer to you same.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine.
I'm gonna go get some sleep and
Sure. We should all get sleep.
See what the morning is. And then Chet just kind of awkwardly leaves the room.
Yeah, we should all get some sleep. And Kyou looks, it's probably not doing as good of a job of hiding any emotion, but she's definitely kind of upset by that, but also understanding. And but yeah, we should all get some sleep. Roxanne doesn't remember what we were doing in the morning, but I'm sure it'll come to her.
Heading to Arashi Port.
That's right. So
getting on the road.
We gotta get on that boat in the morning. So or whatever.
Thought we were taking the road.
Yeah, we're probably taking a road.
Indeed. And I think this is a good place for us to go ahead and continue our mission in our game. Obviously, this is where one of the more interesting mechanics. We've got a lot of new fans, a lot of new people who are joining us. Speaking of which, because it completely skipped my mind, how many subscribers are we at this week?
Give me 1 second. I actually pulled it up because I was going to remind you that we didn't look. We're at 14 tonight.
All right. So that gives us, rounding up, we're going to be at 2 table karma. That can be spent by the team. There's always a amount of karma in the pool based on the amount of players there are. And then for every 10 subscribers right now, I bump that up to an additional karma. But then beyond that, there are other rewards and other ways that you can interact with us. Don't forget that when rolls come up, you can actually spend your channel points to buy re-rolls, or that was cocked is great. I believe is one of them. And then what's the other one we do? Oh, they can actually purchase, I believe.
They can purchase karma. And there's also, if we are in combat, we do have a Mist Me Cthulhu spend where you can essentially re-roll. If it has a dodge roller, perhaps depending on the system, make the other person re-roll their hit die.
So that said, one of the things I love about Ninja Crusade is that travel is done very differently. This is not a measured, slog fest of how many days are you on the road, how far, what are your resources. Every night's a different adventure. Ninja Crusade does this in a much more cinematic style, where this is done as a montage. So we have a series of events that take place on the road that are usually pretty similar. It follows a pattern. So we start off at what's called, and these are steps, but they don't require like the name to be involved. But so the steps are village, river, forge, mountain, and temple. Sometimes they'll get moved around a little bit, but the idea is the village, the first step of a journey is getting your supplies together and figuring out what you're going to be doing, how you're going to be traveling, things of that nature. And every test is done by one player. And then that player cannot do any other tests during the journey. And so every player will be coming up and helping to contribute somehow and moving the story forward in a cinematic montage, kind of like in obviously movies. So that said, who wants to go ahead? And I will say that we're starting off in a place where it's very easy to get directions, very easy for us to get supplies. And so we are starting off with a simple test, which is one success necessary for us to go ahead and get this journey started. So who on our table want to go ahead and take that?
I probably can if we want me to like get the wagon set up and stuff. In fact, Kyou got very little sleep. So after tossing and turning for quite a while, she goes down to the wagon and talks to the mules, mostly because they don't talk back. Talks to them for a while and gets them fed and watered, make sure that everything's okay at the stables, and starts to load up as much stuff, secure things for a journey after having a day of sales the day before. And so really just works on that stuff and sees the sunrise.
Okay, so getting supplies together and more than likely going to have to barter for some of them. So I'm going to say travel is going to be one of them. Travel is usually always a catch-all in this case. And let's go ahead and say, do you want to go for persuade as you talk down people, try and get the best price for the group?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, so travel and persuade, we're looking for one success.
All right, for travel, I have 3 pips, and for persuade, I also have 3, so I will be rolling 6 die. That is 3 successes.
Nice. All right, so that does not count towards getting a boost. In this system, a boost requires, I believe, it's 3 successes.
3 successes over the difficulty, yes.
So in this system, you did not get a boost, but you did achieve your test. So you finally push out from the village of Kyou, and you move beyond the bounds of it and slowly enter into the area of the empire that's known as the Flame River. Now, it takes you some time, but up ahead is going to be the next district, next province that you are moving through. And it is a somewhat famous province because of the way that it is. the salesman that you talked to, who guided you from your ship and onto the docks, told you of this legendary area, the Black Veil province, where there is a desert of black sand. As the legend states, powerful ninja wizards blasted this desert into existence, creating an area that it is so hot that it charred the ground and turned everything into black silica, essentially. It is a desert to your east as far as the eyes can see. Purpose of this creation of this was actually to stop the invasion of the Izzo Empire. So you don't find Imperial troops out here. It is again an area that is abandoned by the Empire. So as we are doing this, and as you're traveling this way, you begin to see effects that maybe there's some credence to the tales. You'll see twisted, gnarled trees wrapped around each other. If you ever seen like those wire sculpture trees where it's a bunch of wires twisted and turned, imagine trees like that with not a single leaf on it. And yet somehow within yourself, you know that in some twisted way, that tree is still alive. Overhead, you begin to see what look like buzzards, but these are immense in wingspan. You would say that one of them at one point is 8, maybe 9 foot in wingspan, flying above you.
Ooh.
I would say that during that portion of the journey, that your dog hides under the wagon as the wagon is moving through. It doesn't want to be out where it's visible. But
I'll put him in the wagon.
yeah. With that said, though, we are on to our next portion of the journey, which let me pull that up here.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, absolutely.
Did we have any table rerolls?
Usually I go ahead and give one table reroll, but I don't think we have any unless Chad has purchased any.
No, they haven't. I'm just making sure.
All right. So, that said, we are now at the portion of the journey called the river. This is where we are talking about pace and distance, the measure of travel itself. We are going across a country, and you are traveling. At some point, I'll see what I can do about getting a map out to everyone. But you're traveling essentially from one sea on the northern area of this empire, and you were traveling to the middle of this empire towards another sea, which is the Arashi port is there. So this is a long distance travel. But that said, I'm looking for fortitude. I'm looking for your ability to handle it and keep the group together as you are moving together under these circumstances. There are going to be times where even in this hot, densely packed sand, wagon wheels are going to go down into the sand, kind of getting tossed up and turned up down in it. There are moments where you are having to worry about the livestock, obviously, with the heat. Maybe you decide to travel at night. Maybe you're worried about the sand and how the hooves are going to be handling this. But with that said, I do need my next volunteer. This is a difficult test, this travel. We are looking at a level 3.
I only have 1 fortitude.
Well, and the thing is, remember, so in this game, if you have a way that you think that you can motivate and keep the group moving, it's all about picking the right skills. The recommended ones that the game lists for a moment like this would be fortitude and travel. But obviously, it doesn't just have to be that. Maybe you try and lift people's spirits using perform or something along those lines.
Could do that. I could sing like a marching song.
Nice.
I
will give you.
Yeah.
I will give you a bonus dice if you can give me a stanza of that marching song.
Stanza of the marching song.
Or just a lyric, just a single little phrase. What do you tell people to motivate them?
Can't. I don't know. I just so today I spent a lot of time moving things out of a storage locker and suffered heat exhaustion doing it. So I'm not in a mode where I can do that. So I'm just gonna not take the +1 dice.
Nah, you're good. You're good. Take it. I understand when it is that hot. They are in Texas, everyone. And down in Texas right now, working in a warehouse with it being 110 outside, I think we all can kind of understand where that is and say, no, please take it. And I'll sing it for you. Every rose has its thorn.
All right.
Great. Poison. Poison on the road.
All right. So that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Bam.
Excellent. So you succeed in your test and you begin to move through. You finally hit a point where there is a crossroad. You know that there is another city to the east, but it's mainly abandoned at this point. Very few things are there, but you find a road that's going to lead you south. And you have gotten everyone to a point where they're like, okay, we can survive this. We have the water, we have the food, we have the means. And thank goodness we have made it this far. That said, though, you are now in the Black Veil province. And this is an area of stealth combat. This is an area of the Empire where things happen in the shadows. There are bandits here. There are enemies and spies galore. In fact, this is the home of probably what we would consider the most ninja of the ninja, the Grasping Shadows. If you ever look up their artwork online or anything else, these are your classic ninjas. They are dressed in the all black uniforms with their sword on their back, ready to go do combat against samurai if you ever see them. But that said, you're now, right there in dead center, that guy right there.
Yeah.
With the blindfold across his eyes. So, that said, who wants to go ahead and take this next test? There are enemies around you, and it's more important that you get through here than you fight. Unless you decide that's what you want to do, because remember, this is a journey, and if you decide to kick some tail with some strength or some might, you can do that too. But again, this is going to be a level 3 challenge.
I would like to take this next one if anyone else.
Do you want to take it?
It's your call.
You guys should roll for it.
Yeah, you want to roll for it?
Gets to do it.
Sure. Let's go. Do it. Just a simple 10.
Yeah. Oh. It's probably you won. I got a 2.
5. Okay.
Dang it. All right, go for it.
So, if possible, Guy would like to use a map to find the most expedient way through this particular region using knowledge and speed. Have the most direct, but also not the most straightforward, because there's probably going to be like traps on all the swords. He wants to use his knowledge to kind of anticipate where likely traps are going to be, so as to avoid easily hit spots.
I like it. Yeah, take a bonus die for that.
All right then. And so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 successes.
Nice. Again, not enough for the boost, but you do achieve your ends and you manage to circumvent. And to such an extent that I will even say, you think at one night as you are getting the cart through an area, you have instructed everyone to wrap the wheels in cloth in order to muffle its sounds, in order to make it through one area. And you're pretty sure that everyone can hear the bandit camp in the distance, and you safely and quickly make your way through. Now, the next portion of our journey is the mountain. So, as you're traveling, you finally are entering into the southern end of the Black Veil province, and the environment just changes. It's like you crest a hill, and what was once black, blasted sand and desert turns into a field that likely is fed by water, probably storms and everything else. But in the distance, as you crest this hill, you see the ocean. You know that is the Arashi Sea ahead of you. And this is the moment where you are starting your final leg of your journey. And you remember that the salesman told you, just go south, and until when you get to the sea, head east. So this is a fairly easy part of the journey, but there are no roads, and it's very easy to get lost here or fall into hidden ravines, holes, and everything else as you're traveling. You don't really see any wildlife either, so you're down to working with your supplies. But that said, who wants to take this leg of the journey?
Me.
All
Okay.
right.
I would kind of like to be our general eyes and ears, to make sure that we could just keep a smooth trek. As we avoid traps, I get I say traps, like whether it's traps or kind of like natural pitfalls, things that could catch the wheels and stuff like that. I think Ranto is just so excited to see actual scenery again that she's going on ahead with Camus, sniffing out all sorts of like bumpy crags and stuff like that, things you want to avoid, and just also generally working out some energy she's not gotten to work out in a little bit. And then like coming back and reporting, let's move this way, going out again. Okay, let's start moving over here. Um, so between her and Camus, she does get, and I'll leave this up to you if you consider like natural like bumps in the road to be like considered traps for this. She does get a +1 to find them as a
That's
scout.
fair.
Okay. And so I would like to use perception and survival. And then would you also be able to apply a +1 perception for spot checking? I don't know if that stacks in this case.
What's the nature of the spot check? Is that the trap finding?
So there's one for the trap finding, but under my earth element, for my temperament gift, I get a +1 perception, and I think just for spot checks. At least that's what my shorthand notes say.
Okay, that definitely sounds like that would be for your element, and yeah, that is an overall bonus that is given. So yeah, go ahead and apply that one as well, and
Okay.
go ahead and be sure you get your bonus in there as well.
Okay.
Because
So there's my 3 bonuses.
so while she's rolling really quick, so in Ninja Crusade, there are narrative bonuses where if what they tell aids and builds the story, you can assign bonus die, and it basically helps reward players who help you build the story. So
it's a really
that's
fun
a lot
system.
of dice. I better get something. Okay. Take 1, 2, 3. Sorry, learning to count today, folks. 4, 5, 6. Hang on. I have like 4 zeros in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay,
Nice.
8, 9, 10. 10.
Okay, so you just
With
went
a lot
over
of dice.
by 2 boosts.
She's really excited to be walking around in grass, guys.
Okay.
I can't type it without.
So with your 2 boosts, I don't want to usually. Okay. Also, noting out for our players and everything else, because it has been a while since we've done a journey. Journeys usually, depending on your failure or success, failures start to build up penalties. I can even toss on automatic wounds, saying that you suffered this while you traveled, things of that nature. But I don't want to turn over. Boost can also go towards the next test in order. Sammy's character is going to take that last test, and it's going to be an automatic success. So I do not want to assign those boosts to that. I think that would be unfair. But common uses for boosts that I think would apply is bonus information. Maybe as you're coming into the area, there's something that you want to know. I will allow for that. Karma pool. If you want to turn those over to the karma pool, I don't think anybody's spent karma yet, so you should still be full. And
yeah,
then there's
we're at 6 karma as far as by my count. 1 for each of us, and then 2 for subs.
Style would also work in this if there's a certain way that you want to describe everybody arriving. Do any of those sound good for you, or is there any one of those that you want to use? There's also time crunch, but all that means is that through your leadership, they get there quicker than they expect.
I mean, that sounds good too.
I don't know if style is especially important in this case. Like, we're not trying to put on a show unless Kyou would like to make some more sales before we carry on or something like that. I would not mind being able to get a little bit more information as Ranto is scouting ahead in order to, or I guess whoever, as we're coming nearer to Arashi Port, to be able to get a good idea of, like, is the general area, like, safe? Where's the best place to park the wagon? Stuff like that. I don't know if that seems relevant.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. I will give 2 pieces that y'all can use in exchange for the 2 boosts. The first thing is that as you're traveling along, and anybody that's been to any area that is high tide, low tide, where the ocean levels have changed a great deal, there's always a lot of cliffs or buildup along those edges where you have a beach. But then once you get further away from the beach, there is a sharp incline. And not saying like extreme incline, but we're talking like 45-degree incline of moving upwards and away from sea level. That because the ocean has worn down the land over that the many eons or millennia. So while you're up on one of those edges, you see the village out ahead of you. From this distance, you do not see any movement, and the legend is that it is abandoned, possibly haunted. People have reported seeing strange lights and strange sounds there. Things like that.
I keep forgetting about the spooky stuff here.
But
that was why we came down here originally. Ghost.
It's been so long.
This was going to be our Halloween game. That's how far behind Arashi Port is. We almost made it to next Halloween, guys.
Originally, we were coming here because there's somebody here who might have information on the poisoning.
That is
but
right.
Also, there might be ghosts.
So
we were a little more excited about the ghosts.
Yeah, and y'all decide to go to the. You start off with, I think it's Yanomami, or no Yanama.
Heimanmu.
Heimanmu and Yanama. You start off in that area, and so you started off going there. Discovered pretty quickly who the poisoner was. You did circle past the area where the former village of the Pack of the Black Moon was. And that was the other location. And then you also managed to make it all the way to Tenokiba, where the market was, where your teachers were. And now, after all this time, you have managed to make it back to the other edge of the empire to Arashi Port. What you see up here is you notice that there is a secure and higher area where you could possibly put the mules and the wagon and it would be safe. I will say that for the most part, and this is something we can role play out later, but the young lady, the young noble who is traveling with you, has mainly remained by herself. Just she's done her simple duties. But there is a place that is going to be, if the tide comes in or if there's any sort of storms that would batter the edges of this area, there is a place where you think you could hide the wagon. So I will put that out there. And of course, she would stay with it if necessary. 2 other things.
Okay.
There is something that you could not miss. And that is that the ocean here is wild. And that is to say that this is a level of wave activity that is unlike anything you have seen. There are monstrous waves and swells. They seem to come in from several directions at different points. This is a dangerous shore. And does anybody really quickly want to give me some sort of knowledge roll on that?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll do it. Do it.
Knowledge
too.
what?
You tell me, but I'm going to say base level is going to be a knowledge roll.
Can I do knowledge travel?
Knowledge travel would work. More survival might work, but it would rearrange how I would describe it. But
I'll happily take travel. I'm better at it, but I was just.
I will. Yeah, and I will say that you are looking for 2 successes, and anybody can roll this.
Perception.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got 2 successes here.
Okay, so 2 for Kyou. You had something, Guy? Sorry, I was saying for you got 6. All right, so I will give you a little bit extra because you got a boost on that one. But Guy, you were asking a question really quick.
Oh no, I think we got it covered. I was just curious about a game mechanic about wasn't there a way we could split up skills if we were doing a joint skill test?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, anytime that 2 characters want to team up, one character provides one skill, the other character provides the other skill. You roll your skill, they roll theirs, and it allows you a chance for teamwork. But that said,
we got it, yeah.
Yeah. Kyou, you know that this village is abandoned. And it was abandoned when there were no longer the opportunity to use this place for fishing was no longer there. Basically that was the basis of this village, was that it was a fishing village, and not a good way to put it, but essentially the crops dried up. There's no way to fish here anymore. Not really sure much else beyond that. That said, Chet, it's too dangerous. You can look out here and you know that any boat that tried to launch to sea here, and as far as your eye can see, that it would be destroyed. There's absolutely no way that anyone could survive going out to sea here. And that's based on your test and the skills that you used for it. Bonus information on that is that this is a recent event. And you would suspect that it probably has something to do with the Ninja Crusade. Perhaps this is something else that the Emperor has done. And we've mentioned this a couple times. The plague, the blasting of the sands, all these crazy things that have happened in the world in Ninja Crusade. That is kind of one of those things that is feasible. The Emperor made it rain for an entire year. I mean, he made deals with spirits, essentially, to make it rain and flood out areas. It's almost as if he didn't really care about his own people. Crops were destroyed, livestock lost, villages washed away. So, and y'all lived through that in your lifetime as children. But so looking at this, you're like, okay, this definitely is not right. But we have one last thing.
Empire.
So, one last thing, Ranto. As you are walking through and on your way leading them, you come across a series of ponds and where water has collected. If not for, you probably would have just dismissed it. But there's something about it that catches in your mind. And this is the other boost that you got because you had 2 boosts on your test. And that is, these aren't ponds. These are footprints. This is a singular giant footprint.
Oh, it's even better than Ghost. It's a kaiju.
Whoa.
Ranto and Camus, or I call Camus out of the wagon if he's not with me, and we just start inspecting these footprints heavily. Like we are in the puddles of one, we are like jumping to the next one and getting on the muddy ground and trying to see if we can sniff any tracks or if they've all been rained out. We're just like, it's the same way Guy drools over certain books. That's a little creepy. We are fawning over these footprints like big animal.
And
it's
the only one you see, which makes this even stranger. It is the only footprint like this. There should be more. And you can, with your knowledge of nature and survival, you know that, okay, here's where the footprint is. It's this big. Even though it is that big, there's no way that based on its size and the stride of the animal, it should be right there with the next footstep, and it is not. And so, with that mystery, we're going to go ahead and take a break here for a moment. So,
no!
with that moment in everybody's mind, we're going to go ahead and take our 10-minute break. Everybody, please go hydrate, use the restroom, get some food, and meet us back here in 10 minutes for the next part of our tale.
Dehydrate, come back, feed your face. Everything will be good. We'll be back in 10 minutes, y'all. Thank you for sticking with us. We'll see you in a minute.
All right, and we are back. So, hey everyone, welcome back. So tonight, I don't know if we've had anyone else join us in chat, but our team has finally made it to Arashi Port. Arashi Port sits obviously on the Arashi Sea, such easy way to remember where you are. But the waves here are so overwhelming and the sea is so wild that it has driven this town into basically bankruptcy. What was once a fishing village can no longer make a living or maintain itself and has become a ghost town. But at one time, our characters within this team had been told that there was a young nobleman who was here that was suspected of joining up with a attempted coup or a hope to attempt a coup against the emperor. That's the plot line that where all this kind of originated from. And now this is where you are. So, as our players begin, what are y'all going to be doing? I'm figuring you're leaving the wagon behind, but what's the plan?
Yeah, so I believe we
Yeah, I
are
think we need
planning to
to.
leave the wagon behind. And once we get into Arashi Port proper, the first thing Chet wants to do is scrounge around for something cool that Kyou can sell in his shop as a peace offering / sorry I was awkward the other day, but we're cool kind of gift.
Aw, thanks. Do an
Bro, I got you
investigation
some
check.
merch.
I was hoping I could use perception intuition to see if I could find
That
where
works. That
something
works.
cool would
Intuition
be.
to know what I would like, yeah.
Intuition to know what you would like, perception to see it.
All right. So, go ahead and make that roll for me.
While
Oh, and I
he's
must say,
making that roll,
simple. Oh, okay. So you did not get a boost, but you will have succeeded on this test. And I'm going to say that you actually find some really nice seashells, rare to find. Maybe some entirely intact sand dollars. And Kyou is into money.
and sand.
Okay,
Kyou,
but
I found you this really cool razor scooter in this abandoned shack. In box. It's your
Well, I
favorite
love
color.
it either way.
But you were about to say, Ranto?
I just wanted to know how many toes the giant footprint had
3.
for my notes. Okay, thank you. That was it.
Okay. So as you move downwards, you're searching. What about Guy? Guy, what are you doing?
Cluelessly following behind anyone who seems to be to know what they're trying to do, because Guy does not know how to deal with ghosts. In fact, he's probably shagging it up right now. Or Scooby? Which one would probably yes? To
I thought you said you were shacking up, which I was like, this actual play has gone off the rails,
right?
But shaggying up, okay, yeah.
Yep. So yeah, he's just kind of clinging to whoever is actually like walking forward, because that's the only way he's going to. Oh my gosh, who's calling me? But yeah, he's just kind of quivering and clinging onto anyone who's walking forward.
All
Did
right.
Ranto tell us about the footprint?
Jeez.
You had to probably roll to get her to shut up about the footprint.
Okay, cool. And what
She's
did
like
this footprint...
in the puddle splashing around.
Ranto, quiet. We're trying to be a little unseen.
Look at this thing.
What
it's
kind
bigger
of,
than you. It's bigger than the wagon.
That's terrifying. What kind of what
about
does
the size of
look
the
like?
wagon?
What does the footprint look like? Like, is it like a paw print, or is it?
I would say that it roughly looks like it could be a paw print.
Like dog paw or like grizzly paw?
Ooh, I'm gonna say because of its size and the dimensions that you would need to have a better idea of. Although grizzlies are usually four-toed. But I would say, or bears are usually four-toed, not just three. This is three-toed. I would
Okay.
say that if you want to actually verify your belief, I'm looking for a test, and it's going to be a tough difficulty of 3.
Ooh.
And I will say that perception will have to be one of them.
I do have perception. It's not great, but I do have it. Guy.
Yes. Perception. Let's see here.
Well,
Let's see.
I was gonna ask if we could join up on this and maybe your knowledge score, or is your perception better? What is your perception?
My knowledge is definitely better than my perception. So if you can take that half, I can take the knowledge.
All right.
Yeah, I have a 2 in perception and I have a 3 in knowledge.
I have a 4 in knowledge and a 2 in perception. So
okay, yeah, I can do the perception then. But yeah, and why I would like.
If I say I have a 4 in perception.
Oh well, if you guys could do it, that would be great. And my thinking is though, asking Guy if he knows of any legends of celestial beasts in this area. Because he's our walking encyclopedia, and then Ranto with her animal knowledge. Kyou has some knowledge and has heard stories, but is definitely not as familiar with any animals besides the dogs that have been around Danketsu and Kamu. So.
Right.
So, how do y'all want to handle it?
Do you want to match up my perception and your knowledge?
Yeah, we can definitely do that. Just letting you know, everyone know that knowing that these might be celestial beasts has not helped Guy's anxiety whatsoever.
I want to take one out with my bare face.
3.
That is more than enough. So the difficulty was at 3, so you made it by 2. That said, taking a better look at it, it looks like whoever it was skidded to a halt here. The foot shape is misshapen, and it is neither necessarily bear or dog. In fact, you're thinking it might be
kitty?
Something you haven't thought about in a while.
Oh.
And you would think that. What?
Oh no! Just I immediately was reminded of the man bear pig from South Park.
Oh no!
But that is now exactly what Guy is thinking of in his head, and he is terrified of it as he looks over Ranto's shoulder.
I don't recall all of the celestial beasts. It's something that we haven't thought of in a long time, but we might have. We have heard of it. Can I roll for like recollection?
3 toes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it a big sloth?
No, but I will say this. You pause for a moment because this is a part. This happened before you moved to Danketsu. Some of the other kids might remember. But Danketsu was the site of a war between 2 celestial beasts.
Yes, I remember that a little bit.
And the footprint leads you to believe that, yeah, this is probably a celestial beast. And nobody has seen Chetsuo, the aggressor, since that battle. Chetsuo the aggressor was a celestial bear, and he was essentially mind controlled by the emperor into attacking, finding wherever the base was of the ninja and attacking.
Okay. So this is very concerning, especially if he happens to still be under the control of the Empire. What was the other wasn't there another celestial beast in that fight?
There was nobody is exactly certain what it was, possibly a minor dragon, but whatever it was, it fought in the form of a giant woman.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Giant woman.
Um
I thought it.
well, that's not exciting. I mean, it's exciting, but it's the wrong kind of exciting.
That's the coolest thing I have heard this entire trip.
Why does it only have one paw print here though? And it looks like it stopped here? Like where would it have gone? And Kyou
Maybe it just
is
poofed
staring
away.
at. I mean that's so
I think that's a pretty solid theory.
yeah. Yeah, I guess that's what they do. Because they can just be summoned and unsummoned, right?
Something like that. There's not a
Yeah.
lot of individual knowledge on the celestial beasts. Nobody's even certain. I mean, it would be a level of mastery of key that goes beyond anything you've ever imagined to be able to summon such a thing. Yes,
So you said it's just one paw print, right?
just one.
Well, then Guy is going to very shakily, as if trying to reassure himself, say that obviously this is the work of some prankster that just has like a little 1 foot stamp thing that just put it in the ground just to trick people. Obviously, that's what it is. It's just regular human beings. He is trying to reassure himself and not actually accept the reality that this might be a celestial beast.
If that's the case, wouldn't you be more afraid of one man who could carry around a stamp that big?
No.
And push it into the ground that far?
I mean, I could probably do that.
Isn't it like lake sized?
Yeah.
Well, pond
Didn't we
size.
think this
Pond size.
pond-
It's the
okay.
Yeah,
size. The
It's
footprint
still
is
the
a little
size
bit
of the
bigger.
wagon, though. It's still the size of the wagon. That's still a big imprint.
I was under the
Or the
impression
bear
it
just has one leg.
was much bigger.
Guy does not smart well when he's scared.
Well, let's
Well.
let's not linger here, just in case. Let's go to the scary docks and look around over there. We're looking for a nobleman.
Yep.
And then Chetsuo pulls out a shotgun and cocks it, and he says, "And some ghosts."
Okay, wrong.
I can't use jutsu. I need whatever's available. Firearms exist in this world.
Do actually exist in this world.
Just not
I have a
ones that are
shotgun.
semi-automatic.
I
So
can spend an hour to reload it.
yeah.
It's endgame Resident Evil rocket launcher.
So as you begin to move your way down to the beach, this is not like the beaches that most people have seen. This is not the white sand, beautiful shorelines. This is, almost imagine the dark coffee ground color, almost volcanic sand on the edges of the shoreline, going down into a rocky shore where it is tumbled stones. Now, this is kind of a neat thing because the stones have been worn smooth. So they're not round, they are smooth on two sides and have a very nice appearance to them. But at the same time, everything is this dark color. Even the algae here that is washing up on the shore is this dark, almost brownish green. Everything has this color that tells you that it is alive, that there is life here, but the life is just throttled by the sea. Even the boards of the buildings as you make your way into this village have suffered. They are not the sun, they're not sun bleached. They are not sand bleached. There is this almost kind of dark color to them as if they have absorbed the moisture of the air around them. This place is just filled with it. If you put your hand out and pushed your hand up against one of these boards, you would actually be able to sink your hand in and make a handprint into the wood. That is just how saturated everything is here. The smell in the air is musty and moldy, but not dangerous. Even Camus, he doesn't like the sound of the waves. He looks at them with a little bit of questioning, but he doesn't seem bothered by any of this. But through all this, you don't see any evidence that there's anyone else here.
Press my hand into the side of a wood building and just go, cool.
I will say that you actually take your hands out, and where your fingers were, it's as if the wood kind of curls down. Think of almost wet cardboard, and it's like you have almost pushed straight through. Where your fingertips went almost through the other side, it curls the wood down a little bit like wet cardboard.
Wow, this
So we
place
could just potentially push these buildings over.
Oh yeah, easily.
should be a great training site for testing jutsus and any of our other martial arts, but I don't see any evidence that anybody else is here. Like, people can't live here, obviously.
Someone that's hiding would try to make it to where we didn't know they were here.
You said this was the area of the shadows people?
Yes, this is the southern end of their province.
No one's good enough to erase all traces, and I want to try to make another perception intuition roll to try to find traces of someone else here.
All right, I am going to set a difficulty.
Okay.
But I'm going to say this because of how long ago they were said to be here, and the level of moisture and other things that are going to hide traces here. I'm looking at a 5.
Okay. Use the karma, guys.
Yeah, please.
Mm-hmm.
And you might want to see if anybody else can contribute, if they have a skill that might be better than one of yours, or if you want to try and go for it yourself, you're more than welcome to.
May actually look at my pluses. So one of my focus gifts is I get a +1 to intuition to assess a situation. Would you say that this counts?
Absolutely.
Damn. Another dice. All right. Then
I don't know what your perception's at, but I get bonuses if you need help with perception.
my perception is 3, and so yours is base 4, right?
Base 4, and then I also have a bloodhound jutsu that will enhance smell too.
Okay. If you want to split it, let's do it.
Sure.
I'll do my intuition, so I have 4 dice on that. No. Yes. I have 4 dice on that.
Let's see. So I guess I'd like to activate my bloodhound jutsu first, so I can get the +1 perception to see if I can sniff out past the salt and the sea air. any sort of human presence or residue. It's been a long time since I did jutsu. Let's see.
It's been a minute.
It has been a minute. How do I activate my jutsu? Oh no. It's gonna cost me my.
You use, either your yin or yang, and whatever skill.
Oh, that's right. Yang plus perception. That's correct. Okay. One. Okay. So we get 5 to activate it. One success.
Would you like to re-roll that? We do have one re-roll on the table.
Would you guys be okay with that?
Do it.
I think it's fine.
I'll let you know before you do that.
Mhm.
I got 4.
Oh, okay.
So that brings us to a total of 5.
Well, that was just to activate her jutsu. That wasn't even her perception.
Right.
Yet.
Okay, no, never
What
mind
level
then.
jutsu is it? What
Is
level
it a basic or medium?
It's a level 1.
Okay, so it does take 2 successes, but that is still a successful. It's just that you will suffer the blowback from that jutsu. What is the drawback if your jutsu does not go off?
Let's see. Let me look it up and get a bit better of a context. I have written down -1 social check as my backfire. And I believe what that means is that it kind of, it affects me in a social.
Yeah, more likely you take on more animalistic. You probably will take on more animalistic behaviors, more than
I
usual.
do think that's what it is. Which
And
Ranto would be
so,
fine with.
yeah, and so it does go off, and obviously there's no reason to be necessarily ashamed of your jutsu going off, but there is that negative if it comes up.
Mhm. Okay,
All right,
so
go ahead and make your next test.
perception plus the 1. Let's see. This is more of a smell check than I suppose a spot check, so I don't think that would apply here.
My Ninja Crusade book. The cover's coming off.
Oh no.
Means you use it a lot.
Dang.
I have to.
1 success again. But now we have 5, so we made it.
There we go. So it takes you both some time scouring the village, using your intuition. And what was the other skill used?
She used perception.
All right. Looking about, going throughout all the buildings, checking every inch of this place. Most of the buildings are on stilts, away from the shoreline so that it can survive the waves if there is a swell. And you're like, okay, well, maybe try and check one of the furthest back buildings. And you ascend a ladder into it. And one of these buildings, in fact, you find a sword. It catches a little bit in the scabbard if you try and take it out, but it is still workable. Obviously, the wood has taken damage being here. But then you also find this very regal looking set of clothing. It is probably a lot of silks in it. There is a mon or crest of one of the noble families of Daiwa itself on it. But you know that much, but it has faded and tattered over time that you're not exactly certain which family it is.
How long does it look like this stuff has been here? And we know that.
It could have been here weeks. It's really hard to say just because the amount of damage that this area seems to inflict on things. You're not even certain at this point. It could have been more than a week, maybe a series of days that it's just been left here.
Well, finders keepers. That's my sword now. And,
While you are both in the room, you hear a voice behind you calling out, "Rooms for rent! Rooms for rent! We've got rooms for rent! It is nightfall is coming! Rooms for rent! Dinner available!" And you hear that, and you begin to look around you. You don't see anybody.
So I think that's I think that's one of the ghosts. Or
How much are the rooms for rent?
that's not one of the ghosts, then Guy's pulling a really good prank.
Guy's too scared to pull a prank.
I was afraid you'd say that.
I'm just gonna ask one more time. Hey, how much are the rooms for rent?
Kyou, you hear the sounds of footprints moving around you. Footsteps on those rocks. That sound of a foot falling into gravel and moving along.
So, with my knowledge of the other clans, would I believe that could I roll something to see if I think that these are people that are very, very invisible, or that, like, does it seem like they're interacting with us, or that it's just like a residual, stone tape theory kind of thing?
Definitely intuition and probably a little bit of empathy would work for that, to know if they're interacting with you or if it's something else. And I'm going to say it's a level 2 test. So
A level 2?
Yeah,
So-
standard difficulty.
So, okay, so it needs 2 or 3 successes?
2.
Okay, so I have 2 in empathy, and you said perception?
Yes.
I have 2 in perception as well. May I use a karma? We are back up to 6 thanks to chat. So that is a total of 5 dice. That is 2 successes.
All right. You are certain that whatever it is not interacting with you. The voice, the movements, whatever, it seems to be unaware that you were there.
Guy, have you ever heard of anything like this? Or is Guy hiding?
I am right behind you guys, just kind of shaking in place. Oh, what's happening? You know what that was? Was that one of you guys? Are you pranking me?
No, we're not. Why would we do that? How would we do that?
I don't know. I don't like any of this.
None of us have prestidigitation or thaumaturgy jutsu, so I think we're. I guess it's thaumaturgy is what I'm thinking of.
I think at this point we emerge from the building. Guys, check out my new cool sword. Also, Kyou, here's some cool fabric. I don't know if you can do anything with this.
Ooh. Oh, thank you. And I look
Also, there's
genuinely.
ghosts.
Also,
there are
there was
ghosts out here.
Yeah, there was a ghost in there.
There's ghosts out here too. It's ghosts everywhere. This place lived up to its expectations.
Should
Guy
is on the floor.
Guy, through the air, you smell the most delectable barbecue that you have ever smelled. You swear it has to be pork, and it smells amazing.
They are using the most
Salted
pristine salts.
I'm following it. It's safety. It's.
Are you walking, or are you
I
letting the
fleeing.
are you
Are
letting
you floating
the,
on the scents like a?
Are you letting the scent caress your nose and float you along?
you turned into a cartoon character? That's a T-shirt I want. Ranto is guy floating along the scents.
Send me a list.
Pie to a ghostly pie. But yes.
So there are several events that take place. You hear things, never really see anything. The smell, ever so often you pick up different smells. Nothing as strong as that barbecue, but foods, definitely foods. And this goes on essentially maybe for the rest of the day. Is there anything else y'all are going to be doing while all this happens? For the most part, if you chase after it, if you look around, you never catch anything. And if you call out to the voices, they never interact with you.
I'm kind of disappointed.
Could this
in
be
these ghosts.
like? It's almost like there's like this is like a weak spot between like what if there was an alternate timeline or an alternate world where like this was actually happening and we are the ones that can't be seen? Like, I mean, they don't seem to be able to hear us either, but what if this is just like a weak point? Could some type of, I mean, the Emperor screwed around with all kinds of stuff that he shouldn't have. I mean, he was summoning celestial beasts and he's done all kinds of other stuff. Like you were saying earlier, Chet, that you thought that maybe the Emperor had like been the one to cause this port to be like this. But what if it's like some type of weird key line or something that is making this act like this, and it's like, I don't know, or it's not letting dead people go. It's really weird. I don't understand what could be happening here.
So you believe, so your working theory at the moment is that the Emperor's meddling with the reality of this area has caused Arashi Port to become a nexus point to other worlds, possibly.
Like if I had any understanding of how physics and science work, that maybe this could happen. I mean, we bend key all the time and make the incredible happen. What if that...
You do.
Yeah, I meant in general, like Ninja. I still think of you as Ninja. I know you're not. But you still do incredible things.
Thanks. It's just nice to hear it sometimes. I want to try. I want to try something. Try something unorthodox. Everybody get in a circle and hold hands and don't be weird about it. I want to try to do an empathy perform to do a seance, try to call spirits to us and maybe learn what has happened here.
Kyou, stop doing that with your fingers. Feels weird.
Everyone who's holding guys' hands know that they're incredibly clammy.
Is Tom away with us?
No, she stayed with the Wagner, remember?
Oh, okay. But is Takumi with us?
Yes,
okay,
technically.
Cool.
Okay. So, let's go ahead and... I'm going to go ahead and say that, by and large, it's like the voices get quiet when you do that. But there's really no role needed. It's almost as if everybody, whatever it is, it's like it stops. But then after a while, it starts to come back. It is starting to get dark. Do you think you're going to stay the night in the port, or do you think that you're going to go back to the wagons?
I'm going to stay the night in the port.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can stay here. We brought bedrolls and tents. We should check on Tom away.
I think I should check on Tom away.
There you go. You do it. That'd be great.
Guys already crawling back.
Oh, Guy is checking on top.
So didn't you hurt her feelings or something?
I did. I need to make that right.
I said Guy because Guy wants to be here the least, so I figure we should throw him a bone.
True.
So, Guy, are you going to go check on them?
I will go check on Tomoe and hide in the safety of the wagon.
Okay.
We'll come back in the morning.
He can take Camu
as soon as you get up.
So she is doing fine, and she is tending to your two donkeys. I believe it's
Mules, thank you. Paula Abmule and Ferris Mueller.
I keep forgetting.
They can't reproduce, but they're more powerful.
Huh?
Isn't that why? Because you have to breed a horse and a donkey to make a mule, but because they're a crossbreed,
right.
they can't reproduce on their own. But I figured that
That's
they
right.
were.
You actually are entirely correct. Yes.
I thought you meant that Paula Abdul and Ferris
I thought we were
Bueller.
I'm such a nerdy gamer. I thought we started going into Dark Sun.
No, I'm.
Well, you're
I'm
the
just
only
saying-
one who gets that one.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's how you remember that they're mules. They're more powerful than donkeys, but we can
cannot
never replicate them.
They're sensitive about it. Don't bring it up.
Guy, she's doing fine, and the mules are fine, and you're enjoying it. You're enjoying being away from the village. Oh, but then that smell comes back, and the smell of pastries with it.
I'm so glad to be out of there. And now there's some delicious dango waiting in front of me.
It's beckoning you.
Where is it? I'm following it.
You begin to wander towards the village. The four of you who are still down there staying the night, you swear you see a light source. As you probably found some shelter in one of the buildings, but out towards the bay, you think you see light.
Like in the water, or like just farther out on the shore?
Possibly farther out on the shore. You're not going to be able to get much else until you go to investigate.
Just want to go check that out.
Does it look like fire?
Yes, actually, but not a big fire.
Okay. Do we want to
Possibly
take
torch.
Do we want to take a lantern with us, or do we want to go and approach with most stealth?
I'm gonna unsheath my new cool sword and try to reflect the moonlight off of the blade like a cool flashlight.
Let's go ahead and take the lantern while he's doing that.
Okay. I light one of our lanterns and I affix it on like some sort of stick so I can hold it above our heads.
As you are moving through the village, you following where you think the source of the light is, you go around the corner of a building and suddenly come face to face with Guy.
Oh, what are you doing here?
Is it spooky?
Hey, Guy, were you making that glow just now?
Guy, you weren't even as certain of the glow. You just smelled things, and now the smell is gone. But there definitely is a glow coming from the beach.
Am I still entranced by... So I don't smell the pastries anymore, right? But
nope.
But am I aware of bumping into my friends?
Yes.
All right.
Through the darkness, you see a fire approaching and the glint of what looks like a weapon.
Please don't kill me! Please,
it's just us.
No,
It's just us. Calm down. What are you doing here? I thought you went back to check on Tomway.
Where are we? Are we back on the beach? Are we back in the port?
We are back on the port. You came to us, man.
Yeah.
We were going to go check out that fire out there.
Fire?
Oh, wait, we're being quiet. We were going to go check out that fire out there. I don't know what it is, but it's still there. And everybody sees it, so.
I was just following the smell of the cooking.
You get used to that all day here. Our cooking is not nearly as good as the rest of that cooking smells.
As you gather together, there still is the sign of the light on the beach. But now you begin to hear singing.
Do we see any reflections of anything around that fire? Like, if people were around that fire, you'd probably be able to maybe not make out any features, but there would be at least the glow reflecting off of something on their person or illuminating, bodies in some way. Do we see anything like that? Or shadows moving in front of the fire?
Not in front of it, but you think you see the glint of fabric beyond it. If you go out that way, does anybody want to make stealth rolls?
Before that, can I make a knowledge perception roll to try to recognize the song?
Absolutely.
Oh no, I dropped one of my guys. Okay. I get a +1 for perception related to hearing. So I added that in. I got 2 10s and a 7. That makes 5.
Okay. You recognize the song. It is, and to some extent, it has kind of a folktale kind of sound to it, but it's all about a beetle getting trapped in a bottle and drinking the contents of the bottle, which, of course, gets it drunk. And it drinks it all so much that eventually it doesn't end up drowning, but it dies of alcohol poisoning, essentially. And it's supposed to be a somewhat comical song, and whoever is singing it, you think they find it comical too. It's an older voice, but definitely masculine in timbre.
Right. So you guys see Chet just like lean a ear up towards the sound, and then he just goes, "Beetle bottle."
Do we all know that song?
Sorry?
You think about it, and you're like, yeah, I think some of the veterans, whenever they come back on missions and they celebrate, that they oftentimes will sing a song like that.
And remember, I hung out with those soldiers that one time in that bar when I was way underage.
Yeah.
And I paid to get them very drunk.
Like a month ago, yes.
Yeah, see? Oh, you're right.
Oh,
Okay.
But does anybody want to make stealth rolls, or y'all just want to wing it for the moment?
I'll make a stealth roll.
I live for stealth.
I'm not good at it, but
I'm not very stealthy. So I'll sheathe the sword and inform the rest of the party that I will approach the man a very non-threatening way.
Okay.
In fact,
The rest of us can sneak up.
I would like to do as I'm approaching. I know it's going to involve perform. What else do you think would be involved in singing?
Ooh,
Empathy is the only other thing that I can really think of. Maybe knowledge.
Empathy if you're trying to reach out to them.
Say that's
especially if you're trying to seem
goal.
friendly.
Intuition if you're trying to harmonize.
Ooh. All of those are the same amount. So for flavor, I'm going to say empathy.
Okay.
Nice.
I'll let them roll their stealths if they're all stealthing. And I'm going to start singing where he is in the song and approach.
What is it?
Man.
Stealth and what would that be, John?
Depending on how you describe it, if you're trying to be quick, you can use speed. If you are trying to hide behind buildings and move around carefully, you can use travel.
I will use travel, but I'm not hiding behind buildings, but I'm trying to at least watch my steps so I don't stumble.
Anyone else?
I would like to use stealth and athletics to kind of maneuver into some smaller parts, like some smaller places. And I get a +1 to hide in places where bigger people can't hide. Let's see.
I got a 2. Or I got 2 successes.
Oh no, it's trapped in my arm thing. Okay, here it goes. Let's see. I got a 3.
All right. So, Chet, as you are approaching, Guy, were you going to be making a stealth check on that, or?
I was not. Me as a player wants Guy to meekly and absent-mindedly follow behind Chet because he does not have the presence of mind to do anything terribly proactive right now, and so he's just following along. And so Guy is just timidly following behind Chet because he's got no other ideas.
All right.
Got four successes to sing with this old man.
Okay, so as you approach the edge of the bay, you find that there's a torch that has been placed on an outcropping from the docks. This basically one of the timbers sticking straight up, and it's been placed into it. And so it's not illuminating necessarily him, but the fire is catching him. He's at the end of what appears to be a dock. And so even with the roaring sea and everything else, because the sea is still going, it is as if you can see at the end of this dock, there appears to be a man, rotund in shape, fishing, of all things, this evening. And he hears your voice. He hears you sing. And he's got this deep timbre, but you begin to sing along with him with your voice. And it's as if he acknowledges you for a moment. It's the first time you've had an interaction out here where there's somebody else, something else even, that acknowledges your existence beyond just your group. And you hear this voice singing along with you, kind of, playing off you ever so often. Like they'll pause a word and then they'll, I call it the Don Ho effect, where it's basically like the choir sings the line and he comes in like just a half a beat late and it's like, yeah, da 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 da. He's doing that, playing off of you. Very, very playful, very comic. And he puts down his rod and turns around and begins to walk your way. Clothed in shadows, but you know that he is a very rotund man wearing a, kimono, which is probably soaked by the sea out where it's fishing. And as he approaches, he gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And you begin to realize that he wasn't sitting out on the dock. There were docks out there and he was waiting in the ocean.
Oh.
And it was a matter of your perception that was playing with you. And the two of you standing there on the side of the shore are now looking up at a 20-foot tall figure. And he is clothed in shadow as he comes towards you. And there's this moment of dread at first, because he is the shape of something between a man and a bear.
I want to tug on Chet's sleeve and say, "Guy, and Chet, I think we should get out of here."
I think this is where we should be right now.
And it's
Curious to
strides
see
up,
where this goes. Are we
towering
still
over
singing?
you. He is.
Then I am too, unless I need to make a roll to not go fear.
As it comes into range of the torch, it begins to illuminate its features. And this isn't a bear like anything you've ever seen, but it has the markings of a panda. And so the body, the darkened eyes, the large, eyes within these blackened circles, the dark ears, its arms are black in fur. And he wanders up and stops singing finally, and he's like, looks down at you and says, "Hello, little human."
Hello, giant bear.
Another one. And there's something in the way he phrases that. It's not as if he's referring to a guy holding onto you behind you. Well, are you here alone? You look a little bit smaller than most of the people I've ever seen. Are you a cub?
Yes. I am considered by most still a child.
Where's your
I have
family?
seen much more than normal children. They are back at my home. I have wandered out on my own.
This is a long way from everything. Look, are there any more with you?
Am I getting? I get a read on this being.
Sure.
Like, do
Empathy,
I do like
intuition, or something in
intuition,
there. Yeah.
empathy, intuition?
Empathy,
Empathy,
intuition,
intuition. Just get a read
empathy,
and see if like
perception. Yeah, feel free. One of those.
I'm gonna do empathy, intuition. Is it okay if I use another karma, guys?
Do it.
Yeah, we've got
Read
5.
the bear man.
All right. Is 5 again. Getting lucky. Next game is not going to be good for me, I think.
Always
All right.
balance.
He comes off very positive. He comes off as being friendly. You know from the tales that that Tetsubo, or the bear that nearly destroyed Denketsu, was not a panda in appearance. It was something else. And so you are very certain that this is not that one.
Okay.
Guy, I'm going to say that in the back of your mind, that last little bit of sanity and rationality knows that the tales of the celestial bears is that they are healers and friendly. All except they're the one that is said to have attacked.
And with that being the case, I will say, no, we are not alone. Guys, come out. I think we're okay.
And all of you nearby, you have heard everything that this creature has said. There is a rumbling kind of quality to his voice that reverberates in your chests. I mean, there is no way that this creature is trying to be quiet.
I step forward out of the shadows.
What about you,
Crawl
Ranto?
out of Crawl out of a very soggy barrel with Camu.
Are none of your parents here?
No,
We've been sent on a mission.
Yeah, we're kind of working here.
Well, pardon. We have well, there are things that must be done first. I am, I believe, in your tongue called Gen. And it is a pleasure to meet you all. That said, I need to offer you my hospitality. You are obviously far from home and hungry, is my guess. So, let's get you into something warmer and get you some food. And sorry.
I was gonna say, can we still hear any of the disembodied voices and things like that we could hear earlier? Can we still hear any of that around this part of the beach, or did we leave that back at the docks?
You can't hear anything over the crashing of the waves right this moment. But he looks down at you and says, and says those things, and he reaches into a bag and pulls out some sand and throws it at the ground. And it's a large pile, and it shoots up dust, and it acts almost, imagine, as this wall of fog and wind that rushes past you. Your eyes close, you squint against it. And when your eyes open again, the road beneath your feet is there. The ground is paved. The what was once just simple large pebbles and rocks has now formed into a flat layered ground. Walls and buildings appear around you of various sizes. But that's not the strangest things of all. That this is a civilized location that you find yourself in. No, it's what makes up this civilization. All around you now, you see creatures walking as if they were people. You see half animal, half man creatures. You see things that defy logic. You see something that looks like a umbrella with a face on it and a singular leg sticking out from underneath it, hopping along, going down the road. You see a creature that is about 12 feet tall, elongated limbs, somewhat man-like, but there is no distinguishable features to it. It is as if it is a living shadow, simply walking along, carrying a basket of what looks to be bread. And you see dozens of such creatures going about having conversations. And this is where you find yourself.
Does it sound like the things that we heard earlier?
It is. And in fact, you hear the calls for inns and for salesmen and all sorts of things all around you.
Okay. So they are speaking
I start,
a language we understand.
Yes.
I start to hit Chet's arm. I was right. I was right. It's another place. It's another place.
Yeah.
And Gen, he took us to the other place.
Yeah.
This is great. This is so.
Yeah.
My wagon. I didn't bring my wagon. I'm such an idiot. I didn't bring my wagon.
It's okay. It's okay.
Well,
Tomo is there. You can trust her.
Oh shoot, we left Tom away.
It's not even. It's not even.
Anyway.
It's not that my wagon is in danger. Tomaway will take care of it. But I could what if they need spices?
Stock up.
What if they need textiles? What if I need stock. I do have a pouch. I check my pocket, or I check in my kimono, and I do have one of my pouches on my belt. Okay, Hopefully,
We've got my
hopefully
wallet.
money spins here.
We've got my wallet also.
As you're standing there and you're having this recollection, 20 feet over the top of your head, a dragon runs by.
Oh God!
About 20 feet in length. No wings.
Cool.
Just feet, lizard-like appearance with a somewhat sentient face to it. It runs past you and just disappears off in the distance. Well,
Wow.
Takumi, paint everything, paint everything.
there's no time for any of that. Look,
He looks at his old
come with me.
painting and just throws it away.
Look, come with me. I'm going to get you some food. We can have, obviously, some food, get you into some warmer clothing, and then we need to have a talk. I'm certain the queen will want to meet you as well.
Queen?
Oh, Ranto, we lost you.
Oh, we lost Ranto? Oh, there she goes.
She's back.
I'm back. Am I back?
And thank
You're
you for
back.
the 5 gifted subs, Greg. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Greg.
Heck yeah.
But he leads you down these now, essentially, it's not so much paved, it's not so much cobblestone, but it is a very organized walk towards a large central building. Appears to be a multi-level inn and bathhouse. One that you may have never seen the quality thereof. So, let's get you cleaned up. They'll provide you with food inside. You are my guest and you are under my protection. 2 women greet you, passing out essentially robes for you to have while you are here. They have a very unusual appearance. Both of them have short antlers, and their nose runs flat along their face. But they greet you and pass each one of you a kimono. One of them reaches out and pinches Guy on the cheek. Oh, aren't you just the cutest?
Little ladies, man.
Oh.
Can
He
I?
is frozen stiff.
Is this a? Is this a fabric I recognize, or does this feel like something I'm not familiar with?
You would be unfamiliar with it, but imagine terry cloth. Just soft, velour, cushiony.
Ranto was like
Nice.
squishing it. She's like, this is gonna fall apart.
It feels
And you begin your way into Arashi Port. And I think this is a good place for us to pause for tonight. So, yeah, in this way, also Takumi, Sammy can catch up with us a little bit. We haven't gotten too far ahead of where we left him off. And, yeah, this is what I have been, out of all the scenarios that I wrote for y'all to go to investigate everything that was happening in the Empire, this was one of my favorite ones to try and write up and come up with. And yes, I know there are people in the chat that will say, isn't this a lot like that one movie, which is Spirited Away? And yeah, a little bit.
I don't care.
I've never seen it, so now I'm just gonna think Miyazaki stole it from you.
Well, if a big guy tries to give you gold, don't take it. I'm gonna say.
Yeah, don't do that. Also, Ranto is about to do some terrible things to one of those bathrooms. Like, as in the
Oh, no.
water. It's not going to be nice looking.
Oh, okay. That's not at all what I thought you were saying. That's not at all.
Evil
She will
bathroom.
also devastate a toilet.
I remember what you did to my bathroom in Animal Crossing. Don't.
Oh no.
Check that barrel for rupees. Ah!
Oh, man. I did do that.
You
All right.
did
All I'm
do
saying
that.
is I recently played through Neo, so like a little jumpy right now.
All
Do
right.
you also get bath scenes in Neo? I haven't played.
No, but you fight a lot of the creatures that he has described.
Oh. I mean, these
Umbrella
ones
shoots
seem pretty
spines out
chill.
and can paralyze you. It sucks.
Ooh.
I was
No,
These guys
I
no.
seem
was
chill
not
though.
prepared for yokai.
Yeah.
All right. So, a little twist on the ghost story for Arashi Port. Like I say, I cannot stress how much I love Ninja Crusade, and that oftentimes the descriptions of cities are a paragraph, and you get to come up with what you want. So, I hope y'all enjoy my vision of it. We will be back in 2 weeks to continue it, but for the moment, we definitely need to go ahead and do our experience points. As usual, everyone ends up with our 4 experience points. Uh, as long as everybody remembers something or has something that they want to say that they learned in this adventure. Is there anything that y'all feel that you learned?
We learned that this can there's a whole other dimension or world that we have been taken to.
Feel like
True.
that's a pretty big lesson that we all learned.
I feel like we all learned that lesson. So,
We learned that Kyou is a girl.
that is another thing.
Does that count?
Yes.
Technically,
I
yes.
learned
Yeah.
I learned that if you recognize a song that someone is singing and you sing it while you approach them, good things happen.
Sometimes, yeah. Guy, do you feel like you learned anything?
He has unknowingly committed multiple microaggressions against Kyo over their long friendship.
Oh no. It's
You have?
Kyo doesn't recognize those. So,
I mean, we have probably in our long friendship talked about how gross girls are.
yeah, at which point
I
Kyo was
mean-
like, yeah.
I have
mean-
hair down there.
The only outspoken girl of the group was
also the
Ranto for the
dirtiest.
longest time.
She is pretty gross.
She's a
Yeah,
crunchy
she
gal.
is pretty filthy. But yeah, no.
That's why we
I
call
think
her
those are
crusty.
all good things.
All right. So we're gonna have our 2 XP gifts, one from the audience if they want to pick out who they think was the best role player for the night or who had the best scene. As far as my players go, who do y'all think had a good moment tonight or a moment of strong role play?
I think that Yo's coming out was good.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I will never nominate Kyo for anything, but thank you. I appreciate that.
All right.
I mean, I feel like
I
it's
like-
taboo to nominate yourself.
Right? I mean,
I know.
I think Chet did really well with responding to it. I felt like it was a very real reaction. Actually, I thought all of them were very real reactions. And then I also liked Guy being just. I liked Guy shacking up while we were at the at the scary place, or shaggying up.
All
Yeah,
right,
I don't like the
and
child
chat-
stacking
chat-
up.
Chat voted for Chet.
There we go. Okay, so Chet and Kyo are going to get the 1 extra XP. So you two will be at 5. Everyone else will be at 4. Sammy will also get XP, even though he was not here. I never try and leave a player behind, especially when there is good reason. Because after all, I am a huge believer that real life comes first. Game is just a game. That said, so really quick, Saturday, Gutter Punk. I'm really excited by all the guests that I will have for the show, and I'm super excited to have the opportunity to introduce people to a music RPG. And then also next week on Thursday, we will have Call of Cthulhu. On top of that, I have people here who are on other streams and other things. So let's start off with Steven. Tell us about the stream that you are on.
Me and my friend Corey recently started streaming video games. If Roxy can throw up in the chat the thing with my description, it will have the link to our stream. It's called Gamer Not Gamer. The premise is I've grown up playing video games just throughout childhood. My friend Corey has not. So I am taking him right now. I'm taking him through a lot of my childhood favorites, seeing how it stacks up, like seeing if they're still as good as I remember them being, and seeing if someone who is not necessarily a gamer is like would be into them. And it's been fun. We just hit affiliate. We did our first affiliate stream yesterday, and it was a blast.
Massive congratulations, bud. We're so happy for you on it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so, either of my other players, I know that y'all are pretty much do mainly home games or anything else, but is there anything y'all want to talk about coming up or anything you want to toss out there?
I'll go ahead and throw out something.
Yeah.
So if anyone is a fan of the Arkham Horror card game, I do a weekly open campaign down at Dragon's Lair Comics and Games on in Houston. And so it's a drop-in, drop-out style campaign. And so come on by if you can play. If you want to learn how to play, we are more than happy to teach.
Awesome. We used to go to... John and I went to Dragon. That's actually where we met Toan. Toan used to run Keyforge there, and that was my game of choice. And we used to go down and play Keyforge and all kinds of stuff there. But yeah, another game shop in the Houston area used to sponsor this stream, so we don't talk about Dragon's Lair enough. But if you're in the Houston area, definitely go check out Dragon's Lair. It's a great shop.
Yep, very much so. And it is a Texas-based chain, and I have never known a Dragon's Lair store in of itself, the store itself, to not be a really well laid out store as far as if you're trying to find anything. That said, Justine, you got anything going on? Or anything you want to talk about?
Event-wise, I don't have anything specific. Like John mentioned earlier, I did the cover art and some of the character art for his Gutter Punk. So if you're interested in following an artist or checking out some new stuff, you can always just catch me on Twitter. I think my Twitter handle gets posted in the chat, so you should be able to scroll and find that. But yeah, just see what I do.
Absolutely. And I will toss out that Justine also did our character art and also our ship art coming up for the Star Trek stream that is about to start, which should be, I believe that's going to be Monday nights. So
I will throw up a graphic right now so you can all see and bask in that glorious art. 1 second.
She also did our character portraits that you see on screen right now.
That's right. And I'm seeing Takumi in black and white. It feels like there's like a memorial for him right now.
It is.
Yeah.
It does.
Sammy.
But yeah, Monday night we do have the Voyages of Premiering. It is a stream that has been a long time in the making. It started out as a podcast. It's come around to this, but it is going to be a whole new twist for us from how we normally do shows. So we really encourage you, if you are a Star Trek fan or want to support the channel and don't know a whole lot about Star Trek, that's okay, because we're going to be kind of learning a whole lot. But for those of Star Trek fans out there, it will take place after the culmination of Deep Space Nine. We will be exploring the Gamma Quadrant, so we will be on the other side of the wormhole. And we will be in a Galaxy-class starship, similar to the Enterprise D, but it is the USS Serenitis, and we really hope you can join us and have a little fun. But yes, without ever watching an episode of Star Trek, Justine did all this art, and it looks phenomenal. Some of the best Star Trek art I have ever seen.
Thank you. I watched Netflix had the first generation way back in my undergrad, and I watched a lot of it.
Okay.
And that is the only one I've ever
So
seen.
like Kirk,
I'm a real big fan of the alien that is Kirk and Spock and McCoy.
Okay, cool.
I'm a big fan of the Tribbles and that one alien that is just a dog in a fuzzy costume.
Yep.
Big fan.
Yep. You know, you do what you got to do. We lost Justine's camera again. It made it almost the entire show, Justine. It kicked you.
I know.
Oh, no.
I got a brand new webcam. Well, the camera kicked me. I got a brand new webcam, and it did a whole lot better, and I don't know why it turned off.
That's all right.
It's all right. We're about to sign out.
We're about to wrap up. So,
Roxy, do you want to mention any of the streams you got coming up?
Right now, I don't have anything else coming up except for the Star Trek stream. And for next week, we will have Illuminated Page back on Thursday night, which is our Call of Cthulhu Masks of Nyarlathotep. We are about to wrap that up. I've just thrown up the Voyages of art so people don't have to see us be all wonky and cut off. But yeah, next week we'll be back to that. We are in Africa trying to put an end to, total Earth destruction by an eldritch horror. So join us for that at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on Thursday. And then I don't have another last night. I was on my Savage Ravenloft stream, but that doesn't come back for another 2 weeks. So I'll just tell you guys about that next week. But
alrighty,
we appreciate y'all being here. Check us out. Like I said, Gutter Punk on Saturday. Voyages of one of our cast members from Voyages of just popped into chat. So say hi to Danny D. She'll be playing our Trill chief of security. And but yeah, check us out on Monday. We really hope to have a good showing and really hope you guys enjoy it. We put a lot of work into this and it'll be a good time. But we thank you all for joining us tonight on what is this show? Growing Shadows. That's the one. Sorry. And we will talk to you all very, very soon. Thank you for coming out.
Night, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Ready for this?